we're gonna break into the Gambler Lures warehouse. Baits, baits, baits. So, yeah, criminal.
Nice. I love that go.
Welcome to mikeybalzz Fishing. We have officially broken into the Gambler Lures warehouse. Dude, look at these things. Giant pink swim baits. But we are down here in South Florida, down in Pompano Beach, and we're in the Gambler Lures warehouse. And I guess what we're gonna do is we're gonna like link up with Val, talk to him. We're gonna talk to Val a little bit about kind of the products, what the history of the company is. I'm gonna go and find some of my favorite gambler stuff and show it to you real quick. And yeah, that's about it. But we broke in to the Gambler Lures warehouse in South Florida. Baits, 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 baits. Oh, that's what I punched on Gunnersville with. So many freaking baits. Dude, there's baits everywhere. There's so many baits. There's so many freaking lures that are made by Gambler. There's so many colors. There's all these like unique colors. There's so much stuff here. Can't talk about it all, but we're gonna talk about some of it. But if you like freaking breaking into warehouses of bait companies, make sure you like and subscribe to mikeybalzz Fishing. Support the channel, support the Bass Attitude Garb, and support some gambler stuff, dude. You can find it all in Tackle Warehouse. Grab it. But we're gonna go and dig through some stuff. What the hell are you supposed to do with that? That's crazy. Stuff everywhere. Okay, calm down. This is a Gambler Mega Daddy. So the Mega Daddy is perfect for like a jig trailer. We pitch it naked to reeds a lot, like round reeds, pads. You can pitch it to a 1/2 ounce, 3/4 ounce, but it's perfect on a double weed guard jig. Dude, you like rip it in half and then you just like free hook it like a chunk, just like that. Garrett Rockamora kind of taught me about that, and I've done it on football jigs. It's like a super great way to do it. But dude, Mega Daddy's absolutely sick. The other kind of cool thing you can do with it is I actually fish beds with it. They used to make some white ones. I don't know if they make them anymore, but they make some white ones. You put a little weight on it, dude. You pitch that thing on a bed. Perfect bed bait. Look at all of them. Let's see what else we can find. Okay, this is a lure that does not get enough credit, at least down in Florida. Freaking flipping tube. This is the 4-inch, I think. I think they make a 4.5. See if there's one in there. Ooh, how about that? And they're like dipped, dude. So they have chartreuse on the inside, and then this one has blue on the inside. You see how they're like dipped in there like that? Absolutely killer bait for like pitching to reeds again, kind of like the Mega Daddy in that. But dude, I absolutely love pitching this thing either to wood or emergent lily pads. Like you get it in like the crown and the stems and the thing goes down and it like dances around in there. Dude, it's absolutely sick. And it's perfect if the brim are in those like pad stems or if the friggin' bass are bedding in there. It's perfect. Also sight fishing, beautiful. Kid in a candy store, boy. Everybody loves swim baits, especially giant ones. So this is the Jeezy. I think this is the Aloe color. That's a 6.5 inch swim bait. I'm going to show you actually some bigger ones in just a second. But 6.5 inch swim bait. These are actually the ones that I use when I fish brush piles or I fish like submerged kind of like structure. I put a 3/4 ounce jig head on here and wind and reel anywhere from like 15 to 25 foot. That's kind of like the juice. That's a freaking cool color though. It's got kind of like a blue shadow to it. Let me see if I can find one of the big, oh, here there. Look at these jokers, dude. This is the 8-inch. That is the 8-inch Jeezy. So that's like a super Magnum. Look at that thing. Freaking big. But that is the biggest swim bait that Gambler makes. It's soft plastic. Smells stinky. Awesome. Big old boot on there. I actually haven't thrown these that much. I usually throw, let me put her back. I stick with the 6.5. Like that's big enough for me. I haven't found a need to throw anything bigger because I catch giants on these jokers. But killer swim bait. What's kind of cool about these is it's not a hollow body. It's like a full plastic body. And what ends up happening is they hold the hook better. I know in some of the older videos you've probably seen that I put that clip on there when I was fishing the bass tricks and the hollow bodies because they slip. These jokers, when you put them on like a keeper in that on a regular like swim bait jig head like that 3/4 or a 1/2 ounce, They don't go anywhere. They just stay on there, especially even after you catch fish. It's kind of sweet. Saves you money. Ooh, this is a nice cup. Ooh, check this out, dude. How about them apples? You gotta get just the right light. See, it's like half pearl and half chartreuse. That's freaking killer. Let's go look at more baits. So we squatted way down here and look at what we found. Oh, they're so pretty. This is the stinger. This was actually flipping at Gunnersville. It's what Kyle Walters used to win on Gunnersville, pitching mats. Just a killer freaking pitching, punching, whatever you want to do bait. You can even put it on like a wrecking ball or like a wobble head and drag it along the bottom. What's really cool with this is it has these ribs, and I'm a strong believer that they really kind of they vibrate, they kind of like undulate under the water, even to an extent that people can't see, but the fish pick it up, whether it's on their lateral line or like visually. This is classic color. It's black, blue tip. The Fat A stick baits are like super popular in Kissimee, and now it's moving to like Lake Okeechobee on those. But dude, absolutely killer. If you're gonna punch the mats, I like going to this. It is kind of a thin, super soft body, but in it, you know, I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't last for like a million fish, and sometimes it just tears up quick after punching. The hook pops out. But I think that softness and that thinner profile leads to better hookups and just more bites, dude. Like the softer baits get more bites. Like rubber worms is a prime example. But look at all these jokers. That is a lot of freaking stingers. That is a lot of stingers. You ever get so excited by like stuff? I'm not a huge like materialist or objective like object guy, you know? Like I don't need a bunch of stuff. Like, oh, there's things that I want, you know, and all that. But like, dude, I get into a place like this or into like a bait shop and I freak out because like I want everything. They're all like little toys. Like I get back into 12-year-old mode. It's freaking crazy. It's them all. I want them all. In my opinion, the most under-mentioned, non-credit given bait made by Gambler is this guy right here. This is the Shaky Shed. This is one of the most epic freaking drop shot baits there is out there, and you can use it for a million different things. I actually put this on an underspin, a Gambler Mino, or if you use like I even forget what they're called, but an underspin, you know, freaking jig head with a blade under it. Awesome freaking trailer. You can see how twitchy that tail is. I wacky rig these jokers. You can use them in so many different ways, but from a drop shot standpoint, these baits are absolutely killer. And there's a bunch of colors. That's like Copperfield, super clear crystal ones. I had like a favorite color. I don't know if they got them anymore. Ooh, I'm gonna need some of these because you guys know I'm in love with like freaking Morning Dawn, like pink style stuff, right? Ta-da! Look at that. Does Mike need that? Yeah, anything pink that doesn't stink. Actually, these do stink. But yeah, so dude, Shaky Shed is an absolutely under just noted freaking color. Like it's absolutely epic. They got them watermelon blue core. If you're drop shotting, grab a Shaky Shed. I love them. I love them. I always enjoy highlighting the things that like no one knows Gambler makes, because there's some things that I fish with and I use that people are like, oh bro, like who makes that? And I'm like, oh, it's a Gambler thing. And they're like, no way. And I'm like, yeah bro, it's Gambler. And like, really? I had no idea they made that. I thought they just made plastics. And I'm like, yeah, it's Gambler. So one example is, if I can get one out, Mino underspin. We were just talking about it. Can you imagine that Shaky Shed on the back of that thing? It's absolutely perfect. Mino underspin, freaking killer underspin. It's got the blade and the head down there. It's perfect because it actually, that head allows you to bonk kind of like over any kind of wood or brush that's down on the bottom and kind of stay above it, not getting hung up. But that Shaky Shed on there in clear water situations, I actually caught a few fish on Smith before I left on that joker. Absolutely killer. This guy, Arkansas Shiner. Totally favorite color, best color. Anything with like white and green, pearl and green is the deal. That's pretty much all I throw with two other things. Southern Flash Swim Jig. I did a video on this way back when I had the tracker boat. This is absolutely killer during the shad spawn, dude. Freaking, it doesn't get enough credit. Basically, it's a swim jig with a swivel attached to the hook. You can throw it around in grass because it has that weed guard, weedless swim jig, and you can literally freaking throw it in places you can never throw a spinnerbait, really never throw a chatterbait, and just never throw anything that has a blade on it. This allows you to get through. It's perfect, awesome, killer. I don't know how your shad spawn like up in other places, but I know down in Florida, they get around Kissimmee grass, they get around like emergent, hard kind of cover, and they'll spawn. This is perfect because we can throw it smack dab in the middle of like a whole field of maiden cane, Kissimmee grass, whatever, and just reel it through. It gives you the flash so it looks like those shad, and they smack the piss out of it. So practically every person I've met at Smith Lake has been like, bro, you need a drop shot, and you need a shaky head. And I'm like, oh, okay. So one of the other things that Gambler makes that freaking nobody knows that they make is the giggy head. And they make a whole bunch of them. They make these, which are kind of like the standard. They make something a little smaller. They make one with a plunger head. Let's get one of those. There's the plunger head right there. These are actually awesome heads. You see how the hook's set back? They stand up just right. Now, also what they do, let me put these in the back of the right place before I get kicked out of here. They also make like a super Magnum shaky head, which is kind of awesome for places like Gunnersville. Actually, even like my deep water fishing, I've used them out there. So they make the giggy, what do they call it? Big giggy head, super strong. You can see it's got a super duper heavy duty hook, heavier weights on them, but it's awesome for places where you're gonna get bigger bites. But it's just something like nobody knows that they make it. And then I go fish with it and have somebody in the boat and they're like, what's that, bro? And I'm like, it's a Gambler thing. Whatever, bro. Speaking of crazy things that Gambler makes, this is the Everglades Special, dude. This is the ER16. It is a 16-inch freaking oar. Is that not the craziest thing you've ever seen? It is gigantic, dangly, twitchy, and like here they have them in the tubes. In the tubes. Doo 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 doo. Copperfield, dude. This is the deal. This is something that I throw on like my wrecking ball. I'll actually cut it right in half, right there, and I'll make it into like this super Magnum duty wobble head kind of like presentation, and it's absolutely killer. And I've caught a ton of fish on it. I think it's something I'm gonna try when I go back to Alabama on Gunnersville and that. Also, epic Mondo shaky head. Like, can you imagine? Epic Mondo shaky. We'll take some of those Gambler giggy heads, do an epic Mondo shaky head. Look at all these worms, dude. If you're not all like fired up and like jacked up just seeing this stuff, like there's something wrong. Like, don't watch these videos because you obviously don't like to fish. Like, I mean, I guess you can come and see Bog. Bog's back at the house right now. Poor Bog, he'd probably get into this because so here's the deal with Bog. When I get all fired up because I'm about to set the hook on a fish, Bog gets fired up. So he's like his owner's like best friend in that. So he's like, dude, what are you gonna do? I'm excited. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna catch fish. So the fact that like I'm all jacked up about these baits, he would be all fired up too. I found him. So this is gonna be one of the unspoken killer baits. So Gambler's making these eels, and they're saltwater baits. I'm totally going to use them on the back of a chatter because here, check this out. There's white ones. Back of a chatterbait, or even on a lead head, or even like a jerky J presentation, like up on the TVA for like ledge fishing and that. Like, there's so many possibilities. Shaky head, like, dude, I gotta grab some of these, put them in my pocket. Wonder, are they gonna notice if I like stuff my pockets with? How am I gonna get out of here? Oh, look at this color. Look at that. It's like green slime, like Slimer from Ghostbusters. But the fish will eat that, right? No doubt about it.
As usual, never trust a guy with a flower hat.
Unbelievable. But Val owns Gambler, and since he caught us breaking in the warehouse and we have about 10 minutes before the cops are coming, I wanted to ask Val because it's a story he's given me pieces about, but I'm always interested in where things come from because it tells you a lot about like what they are now. So Val, how'd you get Gambler? Like, where did this all come from?
Man, I'll tell you, it was a random story. My background is in the technology industry, and I got tired of working for other people, and I was at lunch with a friend of mine, and basically Gambler had an issue with a patent infringement lawsuit that they had lost, and Russ Springer, the original owner, passed away of pancreatic cancer, and I was just in the right place at the right time, and a week later, I bought the company. So it was kind of just a timing thing, and got out of what I was doing, the technology side of things, and now I make baits for a living.
Isn't that crazy how like fate kind of draws you into things? And me and Val fish together. He's just opened so many doors for me, dude. Super cool guy. And I guess what's kind of like really cool with you is like you're not just like some guy that owns a company that's looking to make. I mean, you want to make some money, but at the same time, like you love to fish. Like you could be doing a lot of things and probably be making money a lot more than a lot of things. But like
exactly,
you love to fish. What do you like? You fish the coasters. You used to fish the open tours stuff.
Yeah. Like everyone else, fish BFLs and moved my way up into Rayovac and Strand and Costas now. And it's just something I've always loved to do. I'm sure you guys are watching this video. I love to fish. It was in my blood since I was a little kid, and I got the opportunity to do something I love, every day. So it was an easy decision for me. And I still fish competitively as I can, but we got a business to run too. It's all fun and games. It's very competitive. There's lots of options for the customers. We got to, we're always focused on bringing good value and quality products to the customers and our dealers. That's really what keeps it going. So I would love to fish even more than I do, but you still got a company to run and make sure stuff's getting made and packaged and out the door and designing new things, and dealers are happy because if you fall asleep in this business for any amount of time, someone's gonna take your space. All
right, we're gonna do one thing like we did with Glenn Brown, and it's like one of those things where I'm gonna put him on the spot. So Val, I'm gonna ask you some questions, and I want like short answers. It's gonna be like 20 questions with the owner of Gambler, but it's kind of like revealing questions. So we're gonna shoot. You ready?
Probably not ready, but yes, go ahead.
Favorite Gambler bait? If you had to pick one, why not? All right. Well, is that because you won kind of with it?
I put a little money on why not.
Very good. Who designed the Big Easy?
Myself and the guys that are working here, basically.
Probably your most successful bait, like across the board, or your most well-known kind of branded, like Gambler bait.
Yeah, definitely.
Favorite lake to fish?
Everglades, Loxahatchee.
Really?
Yep.
I thought you were gonna say really. Is that because
I love Okeechobee, and because there's a lot of tournaments there. But I grew up fishing the Everglades, and I'm Everglades rat at heart.
Really?
I love the Everglades, the flats in particular. Yep.
Very cool. Like totally not expecting that answer. All right. So we're gonna try. Since you fished a lot as a kid, and this is one like I kind of know mine. What's your like biggest horror fishing story? Like thing that happened to you?
Probably getting escorted out of the local golf courses by the sheriff's department in Boca West, loaded with big fish. And luckily I think I was 16, so I could still pull off my I'm just here fishing routine, and they let me go. But probably now they'd lock me up and throw away the key.
So I got one more question, and this is probably the most important for you guys watching. So tease us. We know you always got new stuff coming and like innovative stuff. Can you tease us about a couple things that are like in the works, or can you give us a little hint?
Yeah, definitely. Well, if you like this bait, we got one you're gonna like even more. I'll leave it at that. It's a good one. And if you like big baits, big flipping baits that look like big bluegill in the reeds, you probably want to stay tuned for not immediate future. This one is immediate. The other one is probably a couple months out, but it's going to be a great bait when the bluegill come around and you need a big bait profile. So that's coming. And then we always got stuff we're tinkering with. I mean, we got a couple things out of the box you wouldn't expect from us that we're kind of messing with, but we got some development work to do still on those. But you'll be, that's one thing. That's one of the fun parts about the job is you're always thinking about what's new and what's not. If we're not doing it, someone else is going to do it. So we try to get them done pretty quick and get them on the market.
But that's really cool. Thanks for talking with us, Val. I'm gonna go rob your warehouse.
Let's go empty the shelf.
I don't know what your favorite is, but tell me in the comments box, what is your favorite Gambler bait? It's a toss-up kind of. I love the crawdaddy after Donnie showed it to me. This 7-inch fat ace on that Magnum rig has caught me more freaking giants than I even know, other than a 10XD. This thing's pretty killer. Tell me what your favorite is down in the comment box. Dude, look at this. Look at these. Look at these. Look at these. You see that, guys? Do you see how she ate that thing? So, along with a million baits that they have here, in scrambling around, we found that he's got a marina, an armada, dude, of boats. Check this boat out. This is an old Hughes that's being redone. Look how pimp that is, dude. What year is this Hughes?
1980. Got wiped out in Hurricane Irma. My neighbor no longer wanted the boat. He gave it to me, and we completely gutted it. I ripped everything out of it, flipped it upside down, sanded, filled, you know, coconut holes that roofs went into it, everything else. And then my buddy Paul Wormser painted it for me. And we're getting close, you know, believe it or not. The bottom and the sides are done, and we're working on the top right now. But it kind of got put on hold because Lake Okeechobee, the water level is dropping like a rock. And we got some big tournaments coming up. And there's a big difference on that lake between 13 foot and 11 foot. You know, the shoreline moves a mile out, and you got to idle for hours to get on. So my little flats boat that was down in the Keys is right here. This is Pete, and Pete's getting a complete makeover right now. So again, totally gutted it. It went underwater, basically sunk in the garage, and it's been completely gutted now. And while we did that, we went ahead and fixed some nicks and dings and put a fresh coat of paint. So Pete's going to be a lime green.
Gambler green.
Gambler green.
Gambler green, ready for the Costa.
And white cap, and I got a 150 Merc 4-stroke waiting on it to go on. It's at Jolly Roger up in Clewiston. If you guys are around there, check him out. Brett is gonna get all rigged, and there's a good chance I'll fish Costa out of this boat in 4 weeks from now, 5 weeks I think it is. If that water keeps dropping, so I'm really excited to get this boat done.
Well, guys, that's a wrap on mikeybalzz fishing. I hope you enjoyed the boats. Valasinski, check out Gambler Lures, dude. Tried, tested, true, good people, great baits. Check out Hookup Lures too. I'm not huge into saltwater, but we did go out with Val in the Keys, caught some awesome yellowtail, mutton snapper, and a big old shark, dude. So it was kind of cool. Make sure to like and subscribe to me as well as Gambler. But we will see you next time. I hope you enjoyed me breaking in. Like I said, I got to get out of here before the cops come because Val's nice, but he's not that nice. So I'm gonna steal some stuff, and we're gonna run.